Looking to move to Deltona in 2022? Well, in this video, we discover the pros and cons of moving to and living in Deltona. Let's have a look. Let's go. Hello and welcome to Orlando Living with Dee, and if this is your first time, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Show us some love because we bring you community videos all throughout Central Florida and Tampa areas. We talk about communities, talk about pro and cons, and today I am in Deltona discovering the pros and cons of living in Deltona. The number one pro of living in Deltona is in terms of the livability factor. The livability factor takes into account your education, healthcare, groceries, transportation, just the overall economy within that city, and it's above average. And that also puts me into the cost of living in Deltona is cheaper when you look at the national averages. Now let's talk about the next pro of living in Deltona. The next pro of living in Deltona is the crime rate. When you compare the crime rate in regards to the national or the state average, it's much lower. But when you also compare Deltona to the crime rate of DeBerry or DeLand, which are the neighboring two cities, it's much lower. So I know that when you are moving into a new place, that is into consideration. Every place is going to have some sort of crime rate. The only difference is how well it's managed and controlled. And Deltona is a much better option when you compare to DeLand or DeBerry in Volusia County. So let's talk about the next pro of living in Deltona. So the next pro of living in Deltona is the education system that you have access to. I know how important it is to have access to a good schools because I have two small kids too, and I know that when we first moved over here, the most important thing for us was the education system, the cost of living, the livability factor, and Deltona has much better schools when you compare that to the nation or the state level. It provides a much better schooling system. Now that the pro is over, let's talk about the cons of living in Deltona. So guys, when I talk about the pros and cons, I do want you to really consider that this is not a positive or a negative. This is just my take in regards to what I believe is probably a pro and a con. Now, it may be completely different because a con to you could be a pro to me and vice versa. So please take that into account. Having said that, the first con of living in Deltona is definitely in regards to the distance, how far you are from the airport, how far you are from the Central Florida parks and everything else that Central Florida has to offer. And you're about an hour 15 minutes to about an hour 30 minutes to both the airport and also to all the theme parks. And that may not necessarily be a bad thing. That probably could be a positive thing for you if you want to be living a little bit further. Now, anytime you go to any of the Volusia County suburban areas or cities in Volusia County, that's pretty much going to be the same pro and con for any city that you look at in terms of the distance. So now let's talk about the next con of living in Deltona. So the other con of living in Deltona is that there is no major mall that is located. You have a lot of shopping, small shopping towns that has your local Publix, CVS and all that. But if you're looking for big box stores, then the closest mall is probably going to be in Sanford area. And that also leads me to my other con, which may not necessarily be a con, but it could also be a pro because this is a more established community. You have big parcel of land. When you build a house over here, your land is a little bit bigger as compared to other cities. But also there's not a lot of newer communities. Now this place is developing and the newer communities are coming. So what it means is that there's not a lot of HOAs, which could be a positive or a negative depending upon your lifestyle. And like I said in the beginning, the pros and cons are basically my take on it. It may not be necessarily a positive or a negative. It just really depends upon your lifestyle and stuff. I hope you get a lot of value from our videos, and if you do, press that thumbs up button, show us some love, and subscribe to our channel. If you are looking specifically for brand new homes anywhere in Central Florida and Tampa area, make sure to check out Orlando Home Show. That's where I bring you brand new models all throughout Tampa and Orlando areas. We look forward to connect with you. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.